This is about defending democracy. This is no longer Democrats versus Republicans. What do you want your kids to believe in? There must be give and take.
This is White Flag with Joe Walsh.
In the House the other day, there was a vote to censure Rashida Tlaib, the Congresswoman from Michigan, the anti-Israel, and that's what she is. She's anti-Israel, pro-Palestinian. She is Palestinian, Congresswoman from Michigan. Marjorie Taylor Greene put forward a vote to censure Rashida Tlaib for her anti-Semitic, anti-Israel views. And the nut of it is, it was a really stupidly, poorly, idiotically worded censure from Marjorie Taylor Greene, which shouldn't surprise anybody, that she'd put forward something that was horribly, stupidly, idiotically put together and written. She accused Rashida Tlaib of leading an insurrection at the Capitol and all the rest, blah, blah, blah. Regardless to say, the move to censure Rashida Tlaib for her views was tabled. The motion to bring it forward to a vote was tabled, so it didn't proceed. It was defeated. And that's a good thing. And it's reminded me in this time that we're in right now, when politically the world is consumed by what happened on October 7th and Israel's response to what happened, and all over America and all over the world, the Western world, we are seeing protests on both sides, pro-Israel protests, pro-Palestinian protests, people speaking out, making their voices heard about where they are and what they believe in this most difficult time. I am a free speech absolutist. I'm a First Amendment absolutist. You've heard me say that. I'm also a Second Amendment absolutist, but not going to get into that right now. I believe in speech. I believe in free speech. I know the law. I know the things you are free to say and not say. I know that you are free to say that Joe Biden is a shitty president, and I wish Joe Biden, 80-year-old Joe Biden, were no longer with us. You can say stuff like that in America. I know you can't threaten to kill President Biden. You can't specifically incite violence against people. When I say I'm a free speech absolutist, I say that knowing that there is a line. No right in America is absolute. I know that. I can't legally own a machine gun. I can't shout fire in a crowded theater. I cannot incite violence. I get that. But I worry in times like this. But everything up to that line, I believe so much in speech. And I worry in a time like this, like a time of war, and that's kind of what we're in, even here in America. It feels that way. There's a rush to try to silence views. And we have to, as a people, fight against this. You know where I am on the issue. I'm pro-Israel, no ceasefire. I want Israel to get rid of Hamas. You know where I am on this issue. But I will defend until I die Rashida Tlaib's right to say where she is on the issue. Rashida Tlaib has a right to say she hates Israel. In America, you have a right to be anti-Semitic. I will defend anybody's views, no matter how odious those views are. You have a right to protest. You have a right to lead a demonstration in America supporting Hamas. And I believe that, and you should have that right. We've got Ron DeSantis Of course, Ron DeSantis, the fucking authoritarian wannabe down in Florida, a week and a half ago, wanting to put forward legislation disbanding pro-Palestinian student groups on campuses. That's antithetical to the First Amendment. And like so much of what Ron DeSantis has done, that will be declared unconstitutional as well. But my God, I'm pro-Israel. I will defend until I drop the right of pro-Palestinian protesters to march and demonstrate. I'll defend your right to say that you believe Jews should be wiped off the face of the earth. That's speech that's allowed in America. Just like it's allowed to say you believe Palestinians should be wiped off the face of the earth. You believe Islam is an evil religion. You believe Christianity is a crazy religion. In America, we can say things like this. We can protest. We've had in the last couple weeks in France, and I think the UK, I know France, making illegal demonstrations and protests for Hamas or the Palestinians because France is afraid it'll lead to violence. We don't do that in America. Thank God. We're not France. You have a right to demonstrate in support of the Palestinians. You have a right to demonstrate in support of Hamas. There's a rush in times of war to silence views we find despicable. There's a rush. Like I'm American and I'm pro-Israel, and I know most Americans are pro-Israel. So there's a rush to want to silence views that don't agree with that are not pro-Israel enough. We see this in times of war. When America is at war, silence voices that are anti-American, anti-war. You have a right in America to be anti-American. I think it's incumbent upon all of us to stand up against this rush to silence views that we find despicable in a time of war, that we find odious, that we find offensive. My God, those are the very views the First Amendment calls us to defend. Let's remember that. I hope you've had a good week. Feel free to reach out to me whenever you want to reach out to me. joewalshwhiteflag@gmail.com. That's all one word. joewalshwhiteflag@gmail.com. Let me know what you think about the podcast. Been a long week. Have a good weekend. God bless. Be brave.
Thank you for listening. Remember to listen, share, and follow White Flag with Joe Walsh on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and everywhere great podcasts are found. And be sure to leave a 5-star review. This has been White Flag with Joe Walsh.